How boring.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
What? Who's that?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
How do you know my name?
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
I know, it's terrible.
Orders came to him through a monitor next to his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
Yeah, my boss is a big
This is
ass
what
too.
Employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
Yeah.
Though others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Not really.
And Stanley was happy.
No, I'm not.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
Finally, conflict!
Something he would never quite forget.
I'm in conflict
He
now.
had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on a monitor for him to follow.
Of course it didn't, I turned it
Nobody
off.
showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time.
Actually, I was quite
As
relaxed.
he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and walked out into the hallway.
Is that really what my chair looks like? Well, I've never noticed that before. Bob's room. Darn, Bob always had the best seat in the house. Big screen TV and everything, I bet there's an Xbox behind there. Oh well, doesn't matter. Turned off the monitor, finally got a chance to be free. Wait. If it's off, why is it blue? I thought I turned it off. Didn't I unplug it last night? Oh, I must be drunk. I don't know. My bag doesn't have anything in it. I'll have a look around, I guess.
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge.
That's a good
to
idea.
His co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others.
Well,
So the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
actually, I find people a little bit stupid. I feel better working on my own. Lots better. Isolation. Pure isolation. Sally Newman. She's not there. Her trunk is. Darn it! Damn it, she kept the key with her. Oh, Sally, how long I've wanted to tell you. How long I've wanted to tell you that I was the one who took a leak in your boyfriend's car. Because I was jealous. Jealous that someone other than me has you. Nice blonde curls, beautiful blue eyes, luscious skin, pure radiance coming from your... What am I talking about?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Why do I want to go left? That's not where the lounge is. The lounge is this way.
This was not the correct way to the employee lounge.
Exactly.
And Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Yeah.
So he turned left at the first open door and walked back in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going... Wait, walk back in the right... Oh, well, doesn't matter.
And like that, he was back on track.
Back on track? What are you talking about? This is the right way to the lap. Oh. How do you know all this? Can't close it. Oh well, doesn't matter. On my way to the lounge. Maybe if I'm lucky I can get myself some coffee while I'm here. Hello?
As Stanley entered the lounge, he was horrified to find not a single person here.
Where is
He
everyone?
decided he would walk up to see his boss, hoping that he would find an answer there.
Actually, I wanted to see the building manager. Doors. Automatic doors! Convenient. Anyway, I wanted to see the building manager. There's so much chalk buildup. Ugh! Man, someone better call the janitor or something. Ugh. Fridge is locked. Oven's locked. All of them locked. Why? Well, at least there's gonna be some water. No! Darn thing keeps on eating up my stuff. But anyway, it keeps on eating up my spare change whenever I try to get it. Stupid Dr. Brain, always trying to pillage people. I'm gonna give him my kick. Ow! Ow! Why can't I jump? Oh, my toe! I hurt my toe! Hurt my toe! Hurt my toe!
Coming to the staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Whoa! Ow! Ow! Where am I?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, of admitting that he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
No, I thought I'd be
And
fired
in
for
such a
turning off the
economy,
monitor.
Was it really worth taking that risk? All because he believed everyone had disappeared? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
I am crazy!
Everyone I know simply vanishing out of the blue, there's almost no other explanation for it.
Well, there is one
And
explanation.
a nagging fear began to creep up in his mind. Questions that had been there all along. He just hadn't put his finger on them yet. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
What? I can't see my feet!
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Was he just walking around in circles? Where am I, he thought. And the more he found himself unable to answer these questions, the more questions continued to arise, until he came to the issue that had been slowly boiling until he could ignore it no longer. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Suddenly, every door slammed shut. No, Stanley screamed. I need to get out of here. I need to know that there's something out there. I need to know it's not just all in my head. And he screamed and clutched at his skull as the voice grew harsher and the music in the background rose higher and higher. And then, moments before collapsing to the ground, Stanley clenched his fists and screamed to anyone who might be listening, I'm not real! I'm not real! Don't believe any of it! None of it's real! And then everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She got dressed, went to work, clocked in, clocked out, and then she walked home. But her walk on this day was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Moments after seeing him, she would turn, run to the nearest police station, and call for an ambulance. But for just a few brief seconds, she merely stood there, unable to move. The tragedy was not the death of a single person. It was that she would never know this man's story, never hear in his own words what had happened to him, or what he believed had happened to him. For to know these things would be to exist inside the head of the man himself. So all she could do was observe from a distance and pity him. But Mariella had places to be and people to meet with, very important people, whose impressions of her would affect her career and indeed the rest of her life. She stood there for only a moment, looking down at the body, and then she ran.